It's week 3 of the NFL. And up next are the Texans' veteran quarterback. He got his reps in last week, finishing with over 300 passing yards. It's the Texans and the Bengals, next on EA Sports.
From the banks of the Ohio River, there's a look at what's now known as Paycor Stadium here in Cincinnati. Today, it's week 3, and we've got a good one in store between the Houston Texans and the Cincinnati Bengals. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Gooden. To my left, Charles Davis. And, Charles, you focus on this Bengal team entering play. It's been a great start to the season, back-to-back wins to begin the campaign.
Yeah, you don't want to get too excited. There's still a lot of season to go, but they've come out playing good fundamental football, and that might carry them a long way.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
The final weekend of the summer. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are as we are off and running on EA Sports. This taken in at the goal line. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Here come the Bengals now to take over. And a look here now at their 4th-year quarterback.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stay on an even keel. Doesn't let too much ruffling. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
On the slant, DeAndre Hopkins. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. On 2nd down, it's Thomas. 7 yards there and a 1st down. The Bengals at 2-0 here to begin the season. They come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They'll keep it on the ground. Thomas. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a 1st down.
2 big runs here to start this game. How about the offensive line? They came out firing. Great leverage, great punch to get this thing started.
And now this unit on the move already. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Over the middle, it's complete. And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down.
Holding, offense.
All right, so they got that one, Charles, against the center.
And let's remember how difficult it is for the center, because remember, he's got to snap the ball to put the play in motion, and sometimes you got that big guy on your nose. You got sometimes where he's coming at you at an angle. It's a difficult job for him to snap the ball and then execute his block.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. On the move to his left. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. They'll drop to throw. And his throw is incomplete. Well, this defense for the Texans, much improved from week one. They were terrific last week in getting their guys their first win of the season.
It's a little bit enlightening talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week, because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win.
And he fires one that's intercepted. And the Texans are going to take possession of the football. That right there is the inauspicious start that they were hoping to avoid, the turnover on the first possession.
I love how you use those college-bound words like that, inauspicious. Well done. I really appreciate that. But here's the thing for me. I'm just wondering if their game plan is incorrect. You know, I think they felt like they could come in and throw it around pretty well. That interception early, they may rethink how they go about attacking.
And a very determined run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 27. Good effort. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. And right side, they're going to go option here. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29.
Holding offense.
Now, they had stopped him for a loss on the run anyway, so they'll decline that.
It's almost a good psychological advantage, isn't it? You created a penalty, and you still couldn't gain yards against us. No way we need to take that one.
Geno now to throw. Open man is Kyle Pitts, his tight end. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. On first down, Levine. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. And we got a pause following the play because it appears a member of the Bengals in some discomfort. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. To throw on 2nd and 6. Smith. Touchdown, Texans. Kyle Pitts, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Texans use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one.
For good reason, quarterbacks want to get the ball to the perimeter to their wide receivers for big plays. But in this situation, it felt like, based on coverage, he knew that he wanted his tight end to have the football, and for good reason.
Extra point attempt here still to come. And the Texans take a 7-0 lead. 5 plays there on that drive. And it was the tight end Kyle Pitts finishing it all off on the touchdown reception. Out is the Texans kick team as they'll send this one away. Fields it right around the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their second drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others. Where they think they have an advantage, dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
They'll start on the ground here on first down. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
They had 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw it for a loss.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end, complete. It's his first catch, and it'll be good for 15 and a first down.
And that's how you shake off the interception you threw on the opening drive, come back and throw another strike and gain nice yardage. And I give credit to 2 people on this one. The man throwing the ball and the person calling the plays. They're not shutting him down early in this game.
A run there on first down and a pretty good one of 5 yards, so make it 2nd and 5. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They run with Thomas. And he's got room. And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. 41 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifted, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game.
On the ground, it's Thomas. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Looking left side, and it's complete. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Looking to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
Haven't been a defense coordinator yet. The big 2nd and 2 is a fun situation to try and defend. Playbook is wide open for an offense, partner.
Nice job holding to 1 after that 8-yard pickup on first down. They didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. 2 yards is the pickup, and the Bengals are going to have a 1st and goal. They'll run on first down. Thomas. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. As they come up now, 2nd and goal. They'll keep it on the ground. Thomas. And I think they stopped him again. They did at the 1-yard line. Nothing doing there as the 13th play of the drive proves to be unlucky. 3rd down and goal now, and this Houston defense not backing down. They'll look for one more stop. And he'll get nothing out of that one. What a stand so far defensively, and now that's going to bring up a 4th and goal. This is a long drive offensively. Wouldn't you hate to end this with just 3 points?
Doesn't it feel like during a ball game you have certain narratives going on and there's certain drives that seem to take on just a bit more importance than others? This feels like...
And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins. A 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Bengals' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. Good bounce-back drive right there through the pick on drive number 1. Drive number 2 leads them right down the field into the end zone.
Agreed totally. Excellent bounce-back, tremendous poise, confidence never lost, and obviously he transmitted that to his teammates as well. What a really nice drive.
Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And for their 2nd drive of the ball game. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
Here's Smith. Buying time to his left. And he wisely will throw that one away.
I saw this one with defensive eyes because even as he escaped the pocket and bought time, the coverage stayed tight. Nothing broke down. Throwing it away, that was his only option.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down. Throwing is Smith. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. It'll go down as a gain of 6. And that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14. They need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. He'll air this one out for Boyd. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. We know he's good at catching the football, but then after the catch, he's got escapability.
Not only that, he's got some toughness as well, because you know he's coached very hard to make sure he battles through, breaks tackles, and then they finish with, but don't fumble the football.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. Up the middle they go. Levine. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter.
Come on. Hey.
He'll try again, but he will lose yardage here. Back to the 4-yard line. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's 3rd down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up. The loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder. And they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
Line of scrimmage at the 4. Here's 3rd and goal. To throw is Smith. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. Calling a loss of 2 there on the play. And it'll be 4th down. And his kick is right there. It's good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. And I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
From the end zone, here comes Williams. And he will be brought out here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. And out now, here come the Bengals. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Hall. And the Texans are going to take possession of the football. Well, such a costly interception, nearly a pick six, but now they're so close they are knocking on the door for a touchdown.
And I never want to get on any team for being aggressive because that's part of what their makeup is, and oftentimes it's successful. But in this case, you've got to be selective about it and make sure you take care of the football. That interception almost cost them 6 points. Now their defense has to run onto the field, probably giving the quarterback a few side eyes along the way. They've got to see if they can stop a score.
That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
Kept it in his hands and tried to push it across the goal line himself, but the defensive front wouldn't allow him to do so, bringing up second down and a bit farther.
A collegiate star here in the Buckeye State, it's J.K. Dobbins. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Now Smith on 3rd and goal. Eluding the pressure right. And he's just going to throw this one out of bounds here. Nowhere to go with it. Incomplete.
Like what I see so far out of this defense because they've been showing their best coverages on 3rd down. So far, only allowed 1 conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
So golden field position there squandered as they can muster only a field goal.
Yeah, you were gifted a 1st and goal situation, but I have to give credit to the defense. They were brought out in a really tough situation, so give them credit for holding them to 3. That's a pretty nice accomplishment.
From the end zone, here comes Williams. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Well, still early in this one, Charles, but the last time this offense was out there, they threw their first interception of the ball game, so trying to avoid repeating that mistake here on this drive.
And to put a positive spin on it, at least it happened in the first half and not in a close game in the 4th quarter. But you're absolutely right, partner. One of the last things this offensive quarterback wants to witness again in this game.
Kind of an obvious question, Charles, but anything you try to avoid after your first pick, or you say it's 1 interception, we're still in the first half, we're going to do the same thing?
I think you want to avoid playing scared, and put it into the mind of the quarterback that you've lost confidence in him. Make sure you get some throws that he's going to be able to complete, make him feel good about himself, and continue to run your offense.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll look to throw here. DeAndre Hopkins making the catch. And they're going to get this up to midfield. Well, he's had the interception woes in this one, Charles. At that time, a little bold to throw it into double coverage, but he beat the double coverage.
Yeah, but I admire that he still will challenge defenders downfield, even though the ball's been in jeopardy a few times in this game. A nice ball there against multiple defenders, and they advance it downfield.
25 yards that time.
My goodness, they've come out locked in on this drive. Play calling, execution, they are fully in sync. 3 straight passes, 3 first downs. They're moving the ball downfield almost at will. This defense really struggling to find answers.
And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here. Well, that's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
He's exceeded his receiving yards from a week ago, and we're still in the first half. It's a first down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. This is Thomas, and he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. A great effort there. His third rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bengals are an extra point away from capturing the lead. And they would not be denied on the ground, powering it in just one play after they got stopped short.
And how about how many tight ends were on the field? Because in today's NFL, we think of the tight end more as a pass catcher. But this group, they tell them you've got to be able to run block to stay on this team. And they committed to it and got it done right there.
And Patterson back out there to send this one away. And a couple yards deep, he'll go to a knee. He won't return it. And they'll take it out to the 25. Houston set to take over. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. First down now, but that clock rolling. Throwing now is Geno. He'll get this complete to Cooper Kupp. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Smith. Flush to his right, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. Throwing on second and long. Smith. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down. And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on third. A shotgun snap for Smith. And this is going to be incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
And he hits the upright, but it caroms in anyway. Boy, plenty of distance there as he banks it in. And they have regained the lead. Distance wasn't the problem, but he did need some help from the right upright, and he got it a little kiss and in.
Yeah, unfortunately caught on the inside of the upright, and that pushed it through. This isn't like a baseball foul pole where you hit any part of it and it counts. It's got to go through the post. If he hits it on the outside, that's no good.
And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. The Bengals going to take over late in this first half. With his slim deficit closing in on the end of the first half, we'll see if they can move this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 out of this drive. They'll come out throwing here on first down. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And the Texans are going to take possession of the football. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it, and that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring before the half ends.
Flushed out right. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at second down.
They made a nice effort to stick it with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
Second down and goal. Smith. And he's got it. And he is out of bounds here. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred the defense.
So we have reached halftime here in a tight 2-point contest. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. And welcome in everybody to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Time for
no break needed. Let's get back to it. Week 3, here we go with quarter 3. All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the 3rd quarter. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes the return. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. So here are the Texans to take over. They were winners over the Jets a week ago, and they are in the driver's seat right now as well.
Let's go now.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. Oh, nice move. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Now Geno on first down. Trying to find Kupp, but it's intercepted. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football. That is a tough way to start the 3rd quarter. You get the football open to drive it down, put it in the end zone, and take the lead. Instead, they give them the football.
And I think the key here is for them to not get discouraged. That is not how they drew it up, not how they saw it in their minds. But there's a long way to go in this game. You know, they've just got to find a way to come back one play at a time. Yes, it's a cliche, but they can get it done.
Now Thomas. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
Trying to get out wide, but he's going to be tackled right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looked like even if he had opted to keep that, I don't think there was going to be much to gain.
Seemed like it was perfectly defense, and know what they say. Those guys on the other side, they get paid too.
He'll drop to throw. And this one incomplete. And another throw that really could have been, maybe should have been intercepted. That would have been number 4. Instead, it's 4th down. Patterson's kick is good. And they have regained the lead. So the interception set him up a terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say we should have done better there.
And Patterson back out there to send this one away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ballgame.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes, get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, It's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
Throwing again on second down. Smith. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 7 yards there and a first down.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
On first down, Levine. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Airing one out for Boyd. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Smith. He's got his pass-catching tight end. That's Pitts. And he's going to come up a few yards short of the first. They get him to the ground at the 37. Call it a gain of 6 on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. The Texans send the punter out. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. A 46-yard punt, 4-yard return. And the Bengals take over 1st and 10. Cincinnati's offense coming back here onto the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try and increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
Perfect example of the kind of attitude you have to play defensive back in the NFL. You want to be the only defender around, and you want them to challenge you. And on that play, he came through.
Now back to throw. And that is incomplete.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now, but he was fortunate on that one not to have another turnover on his ledger.
They'll try and throw for it here. And he's got Hurst, his tight end. And he is going to have the Bengals first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive. And the drive stays in motion with a nice 8-yard pickup on 4th. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now a handoff up the middle. It's Thomas. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll keep it on the ground. Thomas. And he'll push ahead for about 3 to the 36. Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. He'll look to throw. That's caught over the middle by Hurst. And this will not be enough. On 3rd and 5, he only gets 3. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Texans take over an excellent field position. And right side, they're going to go option here. A little juke. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A good chunk on the ground on the keeper. 17 yards, first down.
Well, I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react, even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL. They're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
On first down, it's Smith. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's second down.
A third quarter now, and a one-point game as they line up 2nd and 10.
Now Geno. And he comes back with one complete.
9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be third and less than a yard.
Barney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, it's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, we're going to sell the go. Just go. Well, let's see who's faster.
Smith on third down. Touchdown!
Kyle Pitts,
a beast in the red zone with his second touchdown of the game.
And the Texans have retaken a third quarter lead.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His second touchdown of the game, and they lead.
And now they'll be looking to their deep. And he's going to be taken down. It's a sack. And they fail on the try for two. Trying to roll out, make a play outside of the pocket, but couldn't get it done.
When you don't have a lot of space for your receivers to operate, and down there it's really condensed when you're snapping the ball from the 2-yard line, rolling out, you extend the play, but you don't necessarily open up better avenues for people. And on that play, there's just nowhere to go with the ball, and you end up getting sacked.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. They're going to look to throw. And that one incomplete, but now a penalty flag coming in late. That might be PI.
So pass interference to call, and that does not look to be going over too well on the defensive side.
Or on their sideline, because I believe their head coach is saying right now, hey, you've got to call that both ways.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
The throw over the middle, taken in. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. They'll look to throw again. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will back now in Cincinnati. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. They'll set up to throw. Under pressure, and they got to him again.
Montez Sweat, the man that time to fight in and drop him. A CD, you know, so often we talk about quarterbacks holding on to the ball too long. Well, we can't say that there. He had no time to do much of anything.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete.
They really had a good drive going there, but a nice recovery by the defense his past few downs, able to knock that one away on 3rd down and bring up what I think for the offense, an unexpected 4th down here.
And that will wind up just short. He had it on line. It ran out of gas at the end, and this will remain a 5-point game. Well, just kicking a field goal there, that's a decision that could be open to second guessing. You know, you're trying to get back within a field goal, but it didn't work out as planned.
And now you're banking on your defense to be motivated enough to get out there and get the ball back for you. I think if that ball goes through the post, the defense is naturally motivated, even elevated in their mission. Now they've got to find a way to dig down deep and get it done.
And a good push there defensively as they stop him at the 48. Gain of just 1.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
The Smith's throw here hauled in by Kupp. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion, but I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
The Texans send the punter out as he'll punt it away for the second time. Here's Williams to return. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10. Ready to go on offense. Out come the Bengals. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead. They show run with 3 tight ends here on 1st down. Quick throw into the hands of Hopkins out wide. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. And they'll employ the jumbo set now on 2nd and 1. Up the middle they go. Thomas. And he stopped immediately there. And the Bengals on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. Nothing doing on 2nd and 3rd down after that 9-yard gain on 1st.
Just a simple run play there on 3rd and 1, but this D was up to the challenge and stopped them, bringing up 4th down.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Looking left side, he's got it complete. And he is going to have the Bengals 1st down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive. 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays that have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Thomas. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And that is taken in by Hurst. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A 1st down there on a pickup of 25. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 34. Well, now they'll try the end around. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
Well, not a big gain with that play, but what they're doing is they're spreading the defense out, probing a little bit, and what they're hoping probably is that later in the game, they can create a matchup that they can exploit for big yardage later.
On the slant, complete to Hopkins. And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
The 71 yards rushing now for the ball game on 24 carries.
Well, sometimes, Brandon, there's just not a secret to how things get done. He's been running well all game long, and they continue to rely on him in this key situation.
They told us they were going to rely on him. They have. He comes through there, a big third down conversion. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Thomas. And the Bengals are going to be set up with a 1st and goal as strong running gets them to the 9-yard line.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. On 1st down, Thomas. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. The defense was ready for the run-pass option, diagnosed it perfectly.
Not only did they stack him up at the point of attack, but he was met by a host of light-colored jerseys.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up 3rd down. They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. They wind up with 6 on the hook up there, but it's not enough. 4th and goal. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And he's got it. Touchdown, Bengals. A great play there. With his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Bengals have moved out in front here in the 4th quarter. Big 4th down conversion for the score, and the defense, that is a tough pill to swallow.
Big time for them. How about them just deciding to go for it on 4th down? And, okay, forget the field goal, because that looked like an easy 3 points. Yeah, you might have had a defensive breakdown in there, but they pressed the issue and found a way to get it into the end zone. Give them big credit for that.
And this one's caught. And their 4th quarter lead grows by a couple more. And Patterson back out there to send this one away. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. So now the Texans down by a field goal, a little under 2.5 to go. Plenty of time here. They've got 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning as they've got it 1st and 10. Throwing now is Geno. He completes it to Boyd. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Now Smith, that one thrown away from the pocket. The officials kind of looking at each other, but they'll say there was a receiver in the area, so no penalty, just an incomplete pass. Forced out to his left, and he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
Again, Smith. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, it's going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a second down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. They'll keep it on the ground. Thomas, and a couple of yards as they move it from the 21 to the 19. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Now, this is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. And it's caught. Touchdown, Bengals. Hayden Hurst, his second touchdown on the season. And the Bengals get an important score there to extend their lead here in this fourth quarter. What a huge touchdown that was, obviously, here in the late stages of the fourth quarter as they try to put this one away.
And, Brandon, when they watch the film after this week, they'll be very proud of every rep if they close this game out. Just a few snaps remaining. They can't relax just yet.
Patterson now for the extra point. And he clanks it off the right upright, and it's no good. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. Last time out, they had the fumble. That led to the touchdown. Not a great look on either side of the ball as the defense gave up the points too, Charles. But they've got to take care of the football and do better here on this possession.
It's certainly been a tough stretch, partner, for both of those units, and they kind of put their defensive mates in a really tough spot there by dropping the ball on the ground. But an easy way to make it up to them, get out there now and get some points on this drive.
Oh, it's out. Smith lost it, and the Bengals grab it. And this drive will start on the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line.
Well, that drive wasn't a case of wanting to put points on the board. It was needing having to, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah, didn't get it done, and now you look at the situation and the point differential, 2 scores, pretty much game, set, match.
How about the takeaway, though, huh? How about those defensive guys?
Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. That one looks like he'll throw here. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Bryce Hall. And the Texans are going to get the football here as he gets this up past the 20-yard line. 2-score game here in the 4th, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a 2-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on it trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
Now it's Smith. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toe. It's going to be a first down. Well done. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Now Smith. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. Now a throw here, hauled in. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Come on, come on.
Smith. Being chased out left. And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete. Nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal. Smith now to throw. Dancing to his left. This is caught. 5 yards that time on the completion. And now it's 3rd and goal. Smith trying to get him to the line quickly with the clock rolling. Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, this defense has been physical all game long, and it certainly looks like they're not going to back off and make things any easier. They want to keep making life miserable for the receivers all the way to the end.
Desperation time for Smith on 4th down. And this is caught, so it's a late touchdown, but maybe too late. Still a little time left on the clock, however. Extra point splits the uprights. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. So the onside kick will come with 17 seconds to play. And this is going to be recovered by the Bengals hands team. And they're going to hang on and win this game. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Excellent come-from-behind victory, Charles, especially there in the 4th quarter. Both offense and defense were clicking. They're going to feel good about this one.
Boy, are they ever, because the deficit they faced certainly wasn't small. They obviously did not give up on that one, and in the end, how about that come-from-behind victory? They'll cherish this one for a while.
So for Cincinnati, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll get to stay home again next week as the Tennessee Titans come to town. Meanwhile, for Houston, they'll fall to 1-2. And they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road.